I'm Sabrina, and my life with Ethan was a masterpiece of quiet love, painted in the soft hues of a decade together, until one night shattered everything I thought I knew. Standing in our sleek high-rise apartment, the city's restless glow flickering outside, I felt a shadow creeping into my heart, a restless hunger I couldn't name. That night, when Ethan whispered for me to trust him and led me into the unknown, I had no idea how far we'd go. What he showed me in the depths of a forgotten villa changed me forever, but at what cost to the love we swore to protect? Stick around to uncover the secret that threatens to unravel it all. Picture this: 1,000 tiny lights flickering beyond a glass pane, like fireflies caught in a jar, each one a story, a life, a secret. I'm Sabrina, 33, standing at the edge of my world in a high-rise apartment that overlooks this restless city. I'm a graphic designer, weaving colors and shapes into meaning by day, but by night, I'm just me. A woman tethered to a life I love, yet haunted by a whisper I can't quite hear. I've been with Ethan, my husband, for a decade now. He's 35, a financial consultant with a mind as sharp as the suits he wears, and a heart that still makes mine stumble after all these years. Our life together is a canvas of warmth, painted in strokes of quiet intimacy, but beneath the surface, there's a shadow I can't shake, a restless ache, a yearning for something I can't name, something that gnaws at me in the still hours. Tonight, it's just us in our modern apartment, the kind of place with sleek lines and minimalist charm, all glass and steel and soft gray tones. We've just finished dinner, and I'm at the sink, the clink of dishes a rhythmic backdrop to my thoughts. Ethan's beside me, drying a plate with that focused look he gets, his sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms that still make my breath catch. The city hums outside our window, a low, constant murmur of life that never sleeps, and I can feel the weight of it pressing against the glass. I glance at him, and he catches my eye, offering that half-smile that always feels like a secret just for me. Even after 10 years, his presence is electric. Those hazel eyes that seem to see right through me, the faint scent of his cologne, like cedar and something warmer, something that pulls me closer without a word. We move to the living room, a glass of red wine in each of our hands, the deep burgundy catching the light as we settle onto the couch. He reaches over, his fingers brushing a strand of my dark hair behind my ear, a gesture so familiar, yet so charged, it sends a shiver down my spine. Our laughter spills out, soft and easy, over some silly memory from years ago, and for a moment, everything feels perfect. But then his hand lingers on my cheek, his thumb tracing a slow arc, and I feel that unspoken heat between us. A quiet invitation that we both understand. It's in the way our gazes lock, the way my pulse quickens as he leans in, his breath warm against my skin. We don't need words for this dance. It's a language we've perfected over time, a slow unraveling of barriers until the world narrows to just us, tangled in a moment that's as much about connection as it is about desire. Yet, even as I lose myself in him, that restlessness creeps back in, a shadow at the edge of my mind. It's there in the quiet after, when I'm back at the sink now, the warmth of our earlier moment still lingering on my skin like a soft echo. The dishes are nearly done, and I'm drying a plate, the cloth moving in slow, absent-minded circles as my thoughts drift. That's when I feel him, Ethan, approaching from behind. His presence is a quiet force, and before I can turn, his strong arms slide around my waist, pulling me gently against him. His breath is warm against my neck, sending a shiver down my spine that I can't hide. He leans in closer, his lips brushing just below my ear, and in a low, deliberate tone, he whispers, "I want to show you something new, but you have to trust me. No questions." My heart skips, a sudden jolt of electricity coursing through me. Curiosity and apprehension tangle together, tightening my chest. My hands tremble slightly as I set the plate down on the counter, the faint clink of porcelain against granite sounding louder than it should in the quiet kitchen. I don't turn to face him. I can't. Words escape me, caught somewhere between my racing thoughts and the heat of his touch. Instead, I manage a small nod, a silent agreement to whatever he's planning, though my mind is already spinning with unspoken wonders. We move through the apartment in a hush, the kind of silence that feels heavy with anticipation. I grab my coat from the hook by the door, the fabric cool against my still warm skin, and Ethan does the same. Stepping outside, the night air hits me like a sharp breath, crisp and biting, a stark contrast to the warmth we've left behind. We slide into his black sedan, the familiar interior wrapping around us. The leather seats are smooth under my touch, and there's that faint scent of pine air freshener hanging in the air, a detail I've come to associate with these late-night drives. Ethan starts the engine, and as we pull away from the city, I reach for his hand. His palm is rough against mine, a grounding texture that steadies me even as my mind races with questions I've been told not to ask. Through the window, I watch the city lights fade into pinpricks in the rearview mirror, their glow swallowed by the darkness as we leave civilization behind. The road stretches out before us, winding and narrow, flanked by the shadowy silhouettes of trees that seem to close in the further we go. Every now and then, a sliver of moonlight breaks through the branches overhead, casting fleeting patterns across the dashboard. The deeper we drive into this unfamiliar forested area, the more isolated I feel, as if we're stepping into a world that's been forgotten by time. My pulse quickens with every mile, a mix of thrill and unease settling into my bones. Where are we going? What could possibly be out here, so far from everything we know? After what feels like an eternity, the car slows to a stop, gravel crunching under the tires. I peer through the windshield, and there it is, an old, sprawling villa, looming out of the darkness like a forgotten relic of another era. Its silhouette is jagged against the night sky, with ivy crawling up its stone walls and windows that seem to stare down at us with hollow eyes. My breath catches as I step out of the car, the chill of the air biting into my skin, and I pull my coat tighter around me. Ethan takes my hand, his grip firm and reassuring, but there's a glint in his hazel eyes I can't quite read, something between excitement and secrecy. We approach the heavy wooden door, its iron hinges creaking as it swings open, revealing a dimly lit interior that feels like stepping into a dream, or maybe a nightmare. As we move deeper into the villa, guided by a man named Victor who greeted us at the entrance with a curt nod, I can't help but take in every detail. The opulence of this place is undeniable, but it's faded, worn by time. Tattered tapestries hang on the walls, their once vibrant threads now dulled, depicting scenes of ancient revelry that feel oddly foreboding. The scent of aged wood and melted wax fills the air, mingling with something sweeter, almost cloying, that I can't place. Our footsteps echo on the cold marble floor, each sound bouncing off the high ceilings and coming back to us like a whisper from the past. I glance at Ethan, searching for some hint of what's to come, but his face is a mask, calm and unreadable, though his hand never leaves mine. Victor leads us down a long, shadowy hallway, the flickering light of sconces casting strange shapes on the walls. My heart is a drum in my chest, each beat louder than the last, and that restless ache I've carried for so long seems to grow, twisting into something sharper, something I can't ignore. We finally stop at a set of double doors at the end of the corridor, and Victor pushes them open with a slow, deliberate motion. The room beyond takes my breath away. It's vast, with a heavy warmth that presses against my skin the moment I step inside. The air is thick with the scent of candles, dozens of them, their golden flames dancing in the dimness, and the faint, rich aroma of red wine. In the center of the room stands a massive four-poster bed, draped in dark velvet curtains that seem to swallow the light. The flickering glow illuminates the intricate carvings on the bed frame, and I feel a knot tighten in my stomach, a mix of dread and curiosity that makes my palms sweat. Ethan's hand moves to the small of my back, guiding me forward with a gentle but firm pressure. His voice is soft, almost a caress, as he leans in and says, "Lie down, Sabrina. Trust me." My breath comes shallow, my mind racing with 1,000 questions I'm not allowed to ask. I hesitate, my feet rooted to the spot for a moment, but then I nod, unable to resist the pull of his words, the weight of his presence. I ease myself onto the bed, the cool fabric of the sheets sending a shiver through me as it brushes against my skin. The mattress dips slightly under my weight, and I feel exposed, vulnerable, even though I'm still fully clothed. Ethan sits beside me, his warmth a stark contrast to the chill of the room, and I hear the faint rustle of fabric as he reaches into his pocket. My eyes widen as he produces a silk blindfold, its deep black sheen catching the candlelight. "This will heighten everything," he murmurs, and before I can protest, he's tying it over my eyes, the world plunging into darkness. Instantly my other senses sharpen. The crackle of the candle flame seems louder, the scent of wax and wine more intense. I can hear the soft rustle of the velvet curtains swaying slightly, though there's no breeze. My heart thunders in my chest, and I feel Ethan's hand close around mine, grounding me in the void. "I'm here with you," he whispers, his voice a lifeline. "You're not alone." His words soothe me, even as my nerves hum with anticipation. Then I hear it. Footsteps. The echoes of those final footsteps fade into the distance, leaving behind a silence so thick it feels like it could suffocate me. I'm still on the massive four-poster bed, my chest rising and falling with ragged breaths, each one a reminder of the whirlwind I've just been through. The distant drip of wax from a candle somewhere in the room punctuates the quiet, a slow, deliberate rhythm that seems to match the pounding in my chest. My body is a paradox, utterly drained, yet buzzing with an electric energy that courses through every nerve. It's as if I've been rewired, every sensation heightened to an almost unbearable degree, my skin still prickling from the intensity of what just transpired with those 22 souls who've now slipped away into the night. Ethan's hand is still in mine, his grip firm and unyielding, an anchor in this sea of overwhelming stillness. I can feel the warmth of his palm, the slight roughness of his skin against my own, and it's the only thing keeping me tethered to reality. The darkness behind the blindfold is absolute, but I sense a shift, a subtle movement beside me. Then, there's the gentle tug at the back of my head as his fingers work at the knot of the silk fabric. Slowly, it loosens, slipping away, and I blink against the sudden intrusion of dim light. My eyes struggle to adjust, the world coming into focus in soft, hazy edges. And there he is, Ethan, his face close to mine, illuminated by the flickering glow of the candles that still burn around us. His hazel eyes hold mine, deep and unreadable, a storm of emotion swirling within them that I can't quite decipher. There's a softness to his expression, but it's undercut by a seriousness that makes my stomach twist. The candlelight dances across his features, casting shadows that carve out the angles of his jaw, highlighting the slight furrow in his brow as if he's carrying a weight I can't see. His lips are pressed into a thin line, a barrier holding back words I'm not sure I'm ready to hear. He doesn't speak at first, just watches me with an intensity that makes my already racing heart skip a beat. I'm grateful for the silence, for the space to process the storm raging inside me. My mind is a tangled mess of shame and confusion, each thought sharper than the last. What have I done? How could I have let myself be swept into something so far beyond the boundaries of everything I thought I knew? And Ethan, how could he have been part of this, guiding me into this uncharted territory without hesitation? Yet, beneath the weight of guilt, there's something else, something unexpected, a strange, almost exhilarating sense of liberation. It's as if a part of me, long buried, has been unearthed, raw and exposed, but free in a way I've never felt before. My hands tremble as I push myself up to a sitting position, the cool sheets beneath me a stark contrast to the heat still lingering in my skin. The dark velvet curtains surrounding the bed seem to close us in, a cocoon shielding us from the outside world, from judgment, from reality itself. I feel small within this space, vulnerable, yet oddly safe with Ethan beside me. My gaze flickers to him again, searching for something, anything, that might give me a clue to what he's thinking. But his face remains a mask, though his eyes never leave mine, steady and unwavering. Finally, he breaks the silence, his voice low and measured, each word carefully chosen. "Now you know I'd do anything for your desires." The statement hangs between us, heavy with meaning, and I feel a lump form in my throat, choking any response I might have had. My breath catches as I study his face, desperate to find a hint of judgment, of anger, of anything that might betray regret for what we've just been through. But there's nothing, only acceptance, a quiet resolve that both comforts and unnerves me. How can he look at me like that, as if nothing has changed, as if this hasn't just turned our world upside down? I don't know what to say, don't know if there are even words for the chaos inside me. Instead, I sit there, frozen for a moment, the weight of Ethan's words still echoing in my mind like a haunting melody. The candlelight flickers around us, casting golden shadows on the dark velvet that encloses this intimate space. The heavy scent of wine lingers in the air, mixing with the faint musk of melted wax, creating an atmosphere that feels both intoxicating and suffocating. My heart is still racing, a wild drumbeat in my chest, as I try to grasp the enormity of what he's just said. He'd do anything for my desires, anything. The promise in those words feels like a key turning in a lock I didn't even know existed, opening doors to places I've never dared to explore, even in my wildest dreams. Ethan shifts slightly beside me on the bed, his presence a steady warmth that contrasts with the coolness of the sheets beneath us. His voice comes again, softer this time, but each word is deliberate, weighted with an unspoken challenge. "Next time, you can choose, even all at once." My breath catches sharply, a gasp I can't suppress, as the full implication of his offer sinks into me like a stone dropping into deep water. He's not just accepting what unfolded here tonight in this strange, timeless villa. He's inviting me to take the reins, to dive deeper into the uncharted waters of my own longing, to explore without restraint or judgment. The thought sends a shiver through me, not of fear, but of something electric, something that hums with both danger and allure. I turn my head to look at him, really look at him, and I'm struck by the vulnerability in his hazel eyes. There's a rawness there, a quiet sacrifice that tells me he's willing to step beyond his own comfort, to lay himself bare for the sake of my happiness. It's a look that pierces straight through me, unraveling the tangled mess of emotions I've been wrestling with since the blindfold came off. Gratitude floods me first, a warm wave that washes over the lingering shame, because how could I not be thankful for a love so fierce, so unconditional, that it would embrace even this? But beneath that gratitude, there's a tremor of fear, a whisper of doubt about what this means for the boundaries we've always held sacred. Have we crossed a line we can't uncross? And then, almost against my will, there's a spark of curiosity, a thrilling, almost reckless wonder about what next time could hold. What could I choose, if I let myself? What hidden parts of me are waiting to be discovered in the shadows of this newfound freedom? My throat tightens, and I try to speak, to give voice to the storm inside me, but my voice cracks before a single word can escape. Instead, all I manage is a small, tentative smile, a fragile gesture that feels like a bridge between us, a silent acknowledgement of the bond we've just redefined. Ethan's gaze softens at the sight, and I see the faintest flicker of relief in his expression, as if he'd been holding his breath, waiting for some sign that I'm still here with him, that I haven't retreated into myself after everything. My hand tightens around his, fingers intertwining with a desperate kind of need, as if I can anchor myself to him, to us, in the midst of this uncertainty. His grip responds in kind, strong and steady, a silent promise that he's not going anywhere, no matter where this path leads. The room seems to close in around us, the outside world fading into irrelevance. The distant drip of wax, the soft crackle of the dying flames, even the faint creak of the ancient villa settling around us. It all melts away until there's nothing but this shared moment of raw, unfiltered honesty. I can feel the weight of the night pressing down on me, not as a burden, but as a transformation. My skin still tingles with the echoes of what transpired here, a memory of intensity and release that I can't fully articulate, a dance of shadows and whispers that reshaped something fundamental within me. And yet, sitting here with Ethan, I realize that this night hasn't shattered us. It hasn't torn apart the foundation. As I sit there on the edge of the massive 4-poster bed, the weight of the night still clinging to me like a second skin, I feel Ethan's presence beside me, a steady force in the flickering candlelight. The bed, once a stage for something so far beyond my imagination, now stands as a symbol of change, a marker of a part of me that's been awakened, not broken. It's no longer just a piece of furniture. It's a silent witness to a shift I can't undo, a transformation that's as much about discovery as it is about the raw, unspoken connection between us. I glance at Ethan, his profile sharp against the dim glow, and I see the same quiet intensity in his eyes that's been there since the blindfold slipped away. We don't need words right now. The air between us hums with everything we've experienced, everything we've dared to explore together. A shadow moves at the edge of my vision, and I turn to see Victor reappearing at the doorway of the vast room. He stands there, silent as ever, his tall frame almost blending into the darkness of the hallway beyond. His face is a mask, unreadable as always, but there's a subtle nod of his head, a gesture that cuts through the stillness like a command. It's time to leave. My stomach tightens at the thought of stepping away from this place, this moment. But I know we can't stay. Ethan rises first, offering me his hand, and I take it, feeling the familiar roughness of his palm against mine as he helps me to my feet. My legs are unsteady, still trembling from the intensity of the night, but his grip steadies me, a quiet reminder that I'm not facing this alone. We walk back through the dimly lit hallway, the same path we took hours ago, when everything still felt like a mystery waiting to unfold. Now, the air feels heavier, charged with the weight of what we've left behind in that room. The flickering sconces on the walls cast long, wavering shadows that seem to follow us, stretching and twisting like echoes of the night's revelations. The scent of aged wood and wax still lingers, mixing with the faint, sweet undertone that I've come to associate with this strange, timeless villa. Each step echoes on the cold marble floor, a hollow sound that seems to reverberate through my chest, matching the uneven rhythm of my heartbeat. I steal a glance at Ethan as we walk, but his face is turned forward, his jaw set, though his hand never leaves mine. There's a tension in the silence between us, not of conflict, but of something deeper, something we're both still trying to understand. When we finally step outside, the cool night air hits me like a wave, sharp and bracing after the oppressive warmth of the villa. It stings my cheeks, pulling me back to the present, and I take a deep, shuddering breath, letting it fill my lungs. The contrast is jarring, almost cleansing, as if the crispness of the night could wash away the lingering haze in my mind. But it doesn't. Not really. My thoughts are still a tangled mess, a mix of clarity and confusion that I can't quite unravel. The villa looms behind us, its dark silhouette against the moonlit sky a reminder of the threshold we've crossed, and I feel a strange pull to look back, to hold on to the memory of what happened within those walls. But I don't. Instead, I focus on the gravel crunching under my feet as we make our way to the car, the sound grounding me in the here and now. Ethan opens the car door for me, and I slide into the familiar leather seat, the faint scent of pine air freshener wrapping around me like an old friend. He takes his place behind the wheel, the engine humming to life with a low growl that breaks the stillness of the night. As we pull away from the villa, the gravel gives way to the smoother road, and I watch through the window as the dense forest begins to thin. The first glimmers of dawn appear on the horizon. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.